Hello, this is Mr. Bacon Bits, and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Remake. We finished Intermission, which unlocked chapter select for that story, as well as something else. So you know what that means, time for some cleanup. Checking the play log for Yuffie's story, let's go through the stuff listed there. Shinra combat simulation battles completed, 0 out of 3. Beating Intermission unlocked the combat simulator towards the beginning of Chapter 2, so I'll cover that in just a bit. Enemy intel and enemies assessed should be at 41 out of 48 if you've been keeping up with assessing every new enemy you come across, so we'll be working on that. Weapon abilities learned should be 7 out of 7, including the Cackstar DLC weapon. If you don't have it, it'll just be 6 weapons. Manuscripts collected are 0 out of 28. All the manuscripts are collected through playing hard mode. Fort Condor units collected should be 28 out of 28, with Fort Condor boards being 10 out of 10. If you're missing any, I have a all about Fort Condor video showing where you can get them all. It basically shows where you can get all of the boards, all of the play pieces, and showing the matches in full. Happy Turtle Flyers should be 6 out of 6 if you took care of all the side missions. Fort Condor wins is 7 out of 7, of course, but there's a separate category for hard mode wins. Yep, hard mode makes this minigame harder. Finally is chapters cleared on hard difficulty, 0 out of 2. So with all of that done, I'd actually recommend just starting with clearing out some of the Shinra Combat Simulator challenges. Maybe all of them if you're gutsy enough. So start Chapter 2 and go a little ways to access it. The first challenge is Shinra's Dark Secrets. 3 rounds against Shinra's forces, so utilize synergized windstorm and fire to take them down fairly quickly. Clearing it gives you an enfeeblement ring. Not too bad, the only new enemy is a Helitrooper. Next one is Midgarian monsters. These are against monsters mostly weak to ice, so adjust your setup accordingly. Just don't give Sonon synergy materia. The first round is against a horde of Bugaboos that get nuked with throw plus windstorm. New enemy here, and this round is excellent for level and AP grinding, especially due to the increased EXP and AP on chapter select. The second round is against both a horned Cripshay and a Leprechaun. Synergized Art of War works insanely well against them, especially since Ninja Cannonball helps with Sonon's ATB growth while synergized. The final round is against Type 0 Behemoth, and you now know why I said to not give Sonon synergy.
Ready?
New enemy for this story, but one we fought before. The strategy against it has not changed, including magic spells being punished severely. But thanks to Synergized Art of War, you have way more potent ways of dealing with it. For clearing this one, you get another enfeeblement ring, but I'd recommend repeating this challenge to get to max level and upgrade some of your materia. The last round opens up with the previous 2 cleared, and is only available in hard mode. You can do it now, like the ones in the main game, since hard mode challenges are separate from the story hard mode, but you're probably not prepared for it just yet. So I'll come back later on this and start up hard mode, with the first chapter. So most of the manuscripts are from this chapter, starting with doing the Fort Condor opponents again. Hard mode gives the opponents altered boards that give them buffed unit, outpost, and HQ health as well as maxed speed, so we'll have to outsmart them. I found that the Grandmaster board, unlocked by beating Chadley in normal mode and then buying it from Old Snapper's shop, helps a lot with these. You won't be able to use the most expensive units, but you can load up on barracks that are strong against the units the opponents will use, and use your spells to weaken or eliminate one of the outposts so you can immediately move in. You might have to change strategies for Wedge and Chadley to allow you to do a quick rushdown strategy. And again, if you want to see the full matches, you can see the All About Fort Condor video. With all the Fort Condor opponents taken care of, that is 16 manuscripts collected. 8 for Yuffie, 8 for Sonon. All that's left is story progression. The next 2 manuscripts are for defeating the Horned Kripshe while chasing Zije. It's really not that much more difficult in hard mode, especially if you're going all out with synergized attacks so it doesn't have room to attack you. The next is against Leprechaun. Just be careful of attacking up close due to its ability to rock block. Might have to rely on synergy magic. Finally for this chapter, Gigantipede. This fight is harder in the sense that it uses its attacks more often, and the drones it sends out now have either shield or reflect, forcing you to alternate between using throw and retrieve or ninjutsu. Either way, the drones still need to be taken care of quickly due to the missiles dealing a ton of damage. Magnify Barrier might be a good idea to on Sonon so that Yuffie can do healing. Chapter 2 is left for hard mode, and since we're here, let's finish off the combat simulator with the final challenge. Things aren't as difficult as they could have been with Yuffie's gameplay, considering just how much damage she can do, especially when synergized, but this is still a pretty difficult challenge. At any rate, for this challenge, I recommend having magic defense-focused armor, though Chthonian Armlet is still a great option. Magnify Barrier for Mana Ward or Mana Wall, Elemental Fire on Yuffie's armor that's at least level 2, some good free healing, and Revival on Yuffie so she can bring back Sonon if he uses his sacrificial move. I'd also recommend a maxed lightning materia or 2. If you have any spare slots, put in a time materia for haste as well as any other materia that help with ATB gain. So the first round is against Bahamut. He's still strong, but thanks to your abilities here and the fact he's a bit weaker than the main game, it should be a little easier. There's 2 methods to tackle him here. You can do constant mid-air attacks while synergized, making sure Sonon has Fighting Spirit engaged. Use Brumal form to dodge Bahamut's attacks during this. Or, an easier method requiring a little less execution is 4 Thundagas and some regular physical attacks. If done fast enough before he starts the countdown, you'll put him in a special pressured state that lasts longer. When pressured, spam the attack button while synergized and when your weapon is held to increase the pressure gauge faster than any other method. It's the attacks where Yuffie and Sonon are constantly doing jumping attacks at the enemy. It actually rapidly increases the stagger gauge. You can possibly take him down super quickly with this, but for the sake of enemy intel completion, I'd recommend at least letting him summon Ifrit, which he does when his health passes the halfway point. Don't worry about Ifrit ruining your run though. The setup I recommended makes sure that he's a complete non-issue. Just focus on eliminating Bahamut first, after the summon. Second round is Ramuh. He hurts, but you can hurt him just as much. Just keep your Mana Ward up and use Wind Storms to pile on the damage, either regular or synergized. It's very possible and recommended to take him down before he casts his ultimate attack, because that can easily wipe you out even with Mana Ward. Third round is Pride and Joy Mark .5. Similar hidden boss as in the main game, but noticeably tougher. Just keep your distance with synergized ninjutsu and attacks, with lightning as a priority for magic alignment. Use Banishment when you see it fully charged and it's safe to use. If you see it charge Beam Cannon and it's aiming at you, start spamming Brumal form to completely dodge it. Finally, if it uses Catch or any other attack against Sonon, synergize to warp Sonon close by so that the attack will be dodged. Because if you let it catch Sonon, it's pretty much over if you cannot revive him. You'll also probably want to use Ramuh here for some extra damage. If you got through all the rounds, you'll get 2 Godadamarons. Nice prize.
Test
So after that, aside from Nero, the rest of this chapter should be a relative walk in the park. The next manuscripts are from Deathwheel, but on the way, the last enemy intel entry is the Blast Ray fight. Make sure you choose that one on the way to Deathwheel. Use ranged attacks, give Sonon a synergy magic spell, and it should go down handily. The way I took it down was using Sonon's limit at the start thanks to Gardamarung, pelting it with the elemental ninjutsu until it gets pressured, and then synergized Windstorm to finish it off. Right after is the Crimson Mare. She has a couple new attacks in hard mode. She can use Fusillade, which shoots a bunch of bullets before a laser. Guard the bullets and Brumalform the laser. Fulgent Blade is a move where she quickly closes the gap and slashes several times. Spam Brumalform to avoid this. I'd also recommend consistently casting Regen, but also don't use too much MP because there's a couple last bosses to fight. Next is the Projector fight. I recommend having Chakra on both characters so they can heal from being poisoned. Otherwise, the same strategy should apply. Also by now, Sonon should have synergized limit breaks on one of his weapons, so have that one equipped so that Yuffie and Sonon can use their limits at the same time for extra damage, helpful for when the projector makes itself vulnerable. You shouldn't need to use MP for this fight. And to wrap up Intermission, Nero hard mode for the last two manuscripts. He was a bit of a pain in normal mode, and he's no different here. Magnify healing for regen is recommended due to his ability to drain your health. ATB assist on Yuffie works to help get more synergized attacks out, and I'd recommend to have a couple of HP up materias on both characters if applicable. Otherwise, on the later phases, take a more passive approach so that you can keep healing. Chakra and Prayer are good backup options if you run out of MP. I'd also recommend a magic spell so that you can more easily target his wings whenever he brings them out, since taking them down hampers his range. And with that, the playlog for Intermission is finished. That means that should be everything in the game, right? Well, not really. Remember the loose end with a digital copy of Weiss being created? He can be fought in VR, but not as Yuffie. Rather, the party in the main game can encounter him, from the Shinra Combat Simulator of Chapter 17. This bonus fight is unlocked for beating Intermission, and beating him gives an additional 2 Gardamarungs, which means you can have your entire party equipped with easy access to limit breaks. This is predictably a difficult fight, but all it takes is some time to learn his patterns. Preparation for the fight. I recommend mostly playing as Tifa with parry materia on. Her speed and parry abilities makes it much easier for her to dodge Weiss's attacks than the other characters, which is essential considering his speed. Paired with her, I recommend Mage Cloud with Mithril Rod Aerith so they can use Auga spells more effectively. Give them MP ups and magic ups to increase their spells' potency as well. As such, I recommend equipping Tifa with ATB Assist so that she can give them ATB more often. Weiss has several movesets that he switches to with phase shift based on damage taken, being staggered, or if you take too long. The initial phase is his dual gunblades where he becomes pressured whenever most of his attacks are dodged successfully, and this is the only time to land any attacks back against him in this phase. His stab move can even be vaulted over just like with Reno if you time your dodge towards him just right. Recommended to do so simply because of its insane tracking. Only Cloud or Tifa can do the vaulting move. When pressured, attack him a few times until he gets launched, and then a focused strike to increase the pressure gauge. Back away and repeat until he gets staggered. After a phase shift, he'll start using either Russo's or Azul's weapons and abilities from Dirge of Cerberus. First, starting with Azul's weapon, he uses powerful long-range attacks and is immune to physical attacks, but he's also not very mobile, which means landing spells on him will be far easier. Blizzaga is recommended here due to its higher stagger capabilities, If you can bomb him with 7 or 8 Blizzagas with full ATB on the entire party, this can stagger him without much retaliation. The next phase is where he uses Roso's weapon. He starts regaining HP at a scarily rapid pace, is extremely fast and aggressive, and is also immune to magic unless staggered. This may be a tough phase to counter because he may heal more than the damage you can dish out, and he will very soon use Immaculate End, which is a complete party wipe attack unless you have reprieve skills or have equipped revival moves. If you manage to survive this, he loops back to his first phase and the sequence starts over again, likely with him having full HP again. So as you may realize, it's best to take him down before this happens. So when he gets staggered, your party should have full ATB. Use this to cast Arcane Ward to double up on Aga spells, and have Tifa increase the stagger percentage with True Strike 2 or 3 times, plus her unique ability. This should deal a ton of damage to him. If done on his first phase, it'll make taking him down on his second phase easier, since he won't have much health to work with. That's basically it. It may take some practice, but if you've gotten him down, congratulations! You've finally completed 100% absolutely everything in FF7 Remake. Revel in your victory. The only thing left to do is max out materials and try out some neat setups for personal trials if that's your thing. But otherwise, I'm done. I had a lot of fun making this. Hope you enjoyed watching it. This has been Mr. Bacon Bits, and finally, this is the end of FF7 Remake, aside from a couple of bonus videos. Tune in next time for FF7 Rebirth, the continuation of this story. See ya!